Imagine receiving a housing notice with several pages, legal language, multiple dates, missing context, and a deadline that might change where you sleep next week. Now, imagine an AI system reads one date wrong. That is no small bug. That is a dangerous failure. Reaper Eagle Haven is built around that risk. It does not try to be an AI lawyer. It does not predict core outcomes. It does not guarantee eligibility. Its job is safer and more specific. Turn housing confusion into an explainable, human reviewable path towards support. The core contract is simple. Gemini reads, Haven reasons, and humans make the ultimate decision. Here's the problem. Housing vulnerable users often face eviction, lease termination, mortgage delinquency, unsafe housing, utility shutoff, or emergency displacement under pressure. Sometimes deadlines are arbitrary. The core issue is it's not simply information retrieval. The user does not only need a text summarized. They need to know which date matters, what information is missing, who can help them, and what should be checked by a human before any consequential decision. Reaper Eagle Haven transforms an unstructured housing narrative, document, and location into a structured workflow. Document integrity, optional multimodal perception, deterministic validation, explainability, verified support matching, service access routing, human review, and a private or redacted housing stability briefing. This is not a generic chatbot. It is a housing stability workflow. An impartial system acknowledges their own limitations, their local impact, and the next steps that your architecture must take in order to become something better, something great. The impact is clearer housing guidance, safer deadline interpretation depending on the structure of the document and how accurate Gemini is at this job, and the bilingual access because it processes documents not only in English but also Spanish because this software is grounded in the context of Colombian people suffering from this sort of problems. So the system acknowledges its limitations. It doesn't provide legal advice, doesn't guarantee that you will have the upper hand when you're in court, and it doesn't have real world outcome predictions. So it will not guarantee that you will win this case, but it will provide a safe path to doing what's the right thing. So let's get down to the real demonstration. So right now I load the interface of my software, which is Reaper Eagle Haven, and right now I have admin privileges. So here's ChatGPT generated housing vulnerability and essential services report. So the case overview must be input in this field around here, and the title for this case because there will be an icon on the map, and that icon will have its own like importance. As you can see, there's a there's there's a list of indications not only for traffic but for the cases that are on the map right now. The intelligence briefing, artificial intelligence, which is at the bottom left, doesn't report any cases. But right now, as I'm filling out this form, about this case is about an elder man who will probably face eviction. So these cases must be handled carefully and with diligence. So you gotta be careful. This report is pretty structured, and you might say that it is a bit arbitrary because it has like keywords and hints for easy processing. So you might say, well, you're that's arbitrary because the that generated report says the thing that the elder is facing, it has a clear context, and generally landlords are not so clear about the details of what they're going to do next. So here, these cases that I'm going to present here might seem a little arbitrary, but the point is that the software handles this data with diligence and responsibility, and doesn't give you like fake hopes about, well, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna have safe housing for the next. No, this software doesn't make fake promises to their users, and you can also input the monthly income that the user reporting the problem has. So right now I'm searching through the reports. I'm gonna make a small cut, and I'll be right back. I filled out the consent forms because I have like a terms of service tick box. So you gotta click that box if you waive third party responsibility. You know you don't make responsible reputable haven for fake advice or for telling you what to do, because this is not legal advice. As you can see here, there are the confidence intervals for the data that was extracted from the report, and what this person is going to face if he doesn't take the right steps. So there's recommendations about what he should do, and also there's a list of places where he can go or turn to for help. There's there are municipal offices and other law places where you can go to get help and seek like advice from professionals, because this software doesn't claim to be uh, an authority in this field. I'm going to generate the report, and as you can see, the report has this is the private report, which contains the sensitive data, and in the other case, I'll show you what a redacted report looks like, because the redacted reports censors or redacts the sensitive information about the residence of the user, the user of this app, and the case ID, which is considered sensitive information. And as you can see, here's what the engine extracted. There's no clear deadline in this case, and there's the confidence intervals for document extraction deadline and the other metrics that we're comparing it against. Here's why Haven reached the assessment, a thorough bullet point explanation of that, and the resources or places where you can go for help. All right, so now that we have processed the case, we're gonna like try to see how the routing engine works. So we're gonna go to the first and the most important municipal office in my town. So we're gonna route this case to that office, and you'll see how A star, the algorithm for calculating routes, works. So my city is small, but it doesn't defeat the purpose of showcasing how accurate A star is. So as you can see here, this is the route that the engine calculated. It gives you the fastest path to go for help. As you can see, some routes and streets are not completely mapped, and it took a bit of a longer route because this is to do with API limits from TomTom. And Mapbox provides like this huge map, but TomTom helps you map the whole grid for geospatial, your geospatial location, and it helps you map the grid of the city and all the possible paths for the routing algorithms. So right now I'm gonna go over quickly the second case, which is displacement due to defaulting on rent. So here's the situation: a renter household reports two consecutive months of unpaid rent after a sudden reduction in income. The landlord has delivered a written payment warning and indicated that tenancy may be terminated if the outstanding balance is not addressed. The household remains in the residence at the time of intake, creating an opportunity for preventive intervention before displacement occurs. Here's the address of the displacements. Here's the documents that were uploaded. Here's document intelligence, where we can use Gemini to be more accurate and generate extract fields that the semantics engine might have overlooked. So Right now, Gemini has hit API limits, so it will not extract more fields, unfortunately. So, but the semantics fallback that I programmed, the first engine for this software is still standing tall. So that's something you gotta keep in mind. We don't rely blindly on LLMs. So the nearest date is not confirmed. They remain unknown. Formal node is detected. Core language is detected. So here are the confidence dimensions. So for this document, the document extraction, deadline, pathway, what you should do, housing risk, service match, and location. As you can see, this case is urgent and uncertainty is moderate because housing continuity is threatened. Formal notice indicators were detected by the semantics engine. Court or hearing indicators were detected as well, and the language detected, although it wasn't explicit about a strict timeline, it detected that it is urgent that uh, these tenants pay rent as soon as possible if they don't want to face further legal action. So here's missing information, hearing, payment, or move out deadline. That's what it detected that is missing. And the household income was not detected as well. So here are the next steps. Preserve every notice, list, payment record, message, or photograph. Here's what requires human review. Prioritize immediate safe shelter, identity documents, medication, and contact with verified emergency support. Request prompt review from a verified housing, legal aid, or public service professional, which is why these services on the map exist. So here's the places where you can go. Right now, I'm gonna go to Alcaldía. As you can see here, we can choose which one we want to go to or route the engine to. Also, I'm gonna show you the export, the redactor report for handling sensitive data. As you can see, the case ID was redacted, the last part, and the address was redacted too. Possible deadline was redacted. Although the engine didn't extract a clear deadline, it redacted this information. So it proves that the engine works pretty well. So here are the places you can go to and the nearest, how near these places are to your location. This information is extracted from Gemini and the local engine. So that's pretty awesome. So I'm gonna route my. We can also recompute the case and have it analyze the fields again and parse the document again. So right now I'm gonna go. We're gonna go to this place, place B, and we're gonna calculate the route. Just calculating it. We have the route that it for the 8th service that I intended for this user. So as you can see, everything works perfectly. So I hope you like this overview of Reaper Eagle Haven, and I hope you leave some positive feedback. Thank you for watching.